If you're a consulting business owner and you want to win more proposals, make sure that you do this. Always schedule a time to meet either in person, on a Zoom call, or even a phone call with the buyer to review the proposal together. One of the biggest mistakes that consultants make when it comes to their proposals, and yes, there are a lot of them, but we'll cover just the one here right now, is don't send the proposal and essentially ask the proposal to do the hard work or the heavy lifting for you. If you are not there, again, physically, like in the same room or on a Zoom call or a phone call with the buyer, then what will often happen is the buyer will start to go through the proposal themselves, and they're going to have a whole bunch of questions. They're going to probably misunderstand certain things. There'll be a lack of clarity. They'll look at the price and go, oh, that's more than I was thinking. Something will essentially increase the level of risk or the level of complexity, or just won't feel right to that buyer. And if you are asking the proposal to essentially answer or try and answer all of that, you're going to be probably left very disappointed. The typical response for a buyer when they review a proposal by themselves and they have questions, or there's uncertainty, or the price doesn't align with their expectations, the typical response is they will go quiet, right? You will not hear back from them. You will send emails and they'll just kind of keep putting it off, and you won't get a real clear response. Not only is that frustrating for you, but it's a real waste of time. So what you want to make sure that you do is always schedule a time to review the proposal with the buyer. And again, you can send the proposal and jump on a call the next day or within a few days, but don't leave it weeks. The longer you leave it, the bigger the gap between the time you send the proposal and the time that you meet with a buyer to review the proposal, the less chance you have to really get that business done. So ideally, you're having that call the same day, or it's the first time that the buyer maybe sees the proposal. Sometimes they'll need a bit of time to review it, but don't wait long. You want to look at the conversation to review the proposal with the buyer as an opportunity to answer the questions that they have, to even more importantly, before that, guide them through it. Because when you guide them through it, you can also answer potential objections or concerns that that they may have or believe that they may have before they even come up. And so that they don't even need to come up in the mind of the buyer, because you've already addressed them as you are guiding them through and explaining the proposal process. You have greater opportunity to set the perception or increase the perception of value and understanding around the level of investment, again, before the buyer has to kind of try and figure it out themselves. And at the same time, let's say that there's something inside the proposal that just doesn't sit right with the buyer, or maybe they told you one thing, but now as they've thought more about it, or maybe there's some time has gone by between your last conversation when you got the proposal to them, hopefully not that long. That's another best practice. But now when you're on that call, you're meeting with them, you're talking with them, you can collaborate with them to make adjustments to the proposal as needed, right? Maybe you don't actually need to make any adjustments. You just need to kind of get them back on track and show them that what is in the proposal will actually accomplish what they want, but they didn't necessarily see that. But now that you can explain to them, they do see that. Or maybe you're able to say, hey, you know what? That's totally fine. What we can do is we can remove this one part, or we can adjust this, or we can add that. And now you're back on track, right? Now you have alignment, you have agreement with the buyer that sounds great. You've essentially co-created with them or collaborated with them to deliver the outcome and the engagement that they want, and they now are excited about. And if you just send the proposal without you being there, without having that conversation, you really lack or lose the opportunity to do all that. So make sure that you always review the proposal with the buyer.